Ladies and gentlemen, says leadership is not just about titles or positions, it's about influence. And one of the most powerful tools of influence is the way you speak. The words you choose, the tone you use, and the clarity with which you communicate all play a crucial role in how people perceive you as a leader. Speaking like a leader doesn't require a charismatic voice or an extensive vocabulary. It requires a commitment to clarity, confidence, and respect. Words that command respect are words that inspire, motivate, and encourage action. When you speak with intention, you set the tone for how others will respond to you and your ideas. One of the most effective ways to command respect as a leader is through the clarity of your communication. When you speak with clarity, you ensure that your message is not only understood but also respected. In any leadership role, the ability to communicate ideas succinctly and effectively is crucial. It's not just about having a great idea or strategy, it's about being able to convey that idea in a way that others can understand and act upon. Leaders who speak with clarity are seen as competent and confident because they make it easy for their audience to follow their thoughts and take action based on them. Clarity in communication begins with being organized in your thought. Before you speak, take a moment to gather your ideas and think about the main points you want to convey. Leaders who speak clearly are rarely scattered or vague in their messaging. They know what they want to say and why they are saying it. When you speak with a clear purpose, you can eliminate unnecessary details or confusing jargon that may distract from the central message. Whether you're addressing a team, a client, or an audience, your ability to stay focused on your key message demonstrates professionalism and the ability to lead with intention. Another aspect of clarity is avoiding the use of filler words that can muddy your message. Phrases like you know, and like can weaken the impact of your words and create a perception of indecision. As a leader, your words should be deliberate and purposeful. Every word you speak should serve a function, whether it's to inform, inspire, or motivate. By eliminating unnecessary fillers and speaking directly, you show that you value both your time and the time of those you are speaking to. When you speak with precision, your message is delivered more powerfully and is more likely to be remembered. Clarity also involves knowing your audience and tailoring your language to meet their level of understanding. As a leader, it's essential to adjust your communication style based on the people you are speaking to. For example, the way you communicate with your team might differ from the way you communicate with clients or stakeholders. Understanding the background, knowledge level, and needs of your audience allows you to frame your message in a way that resonates with them. A clear communicator doesn't simply dump information. They present it in a way that the audience can easily grasp, connect with, and act upon. One of the most powerful tools in achieving clarity is simplicity. Simplicity doesn't mean dumbing down your message. It means making your message accessible. Leaders who speak with clarity know how to distill complex ideas into simple, understandable language. They can take a multifaceted concept and break it down into manageable pieces. This doesn't just make the information easier to digest, it also makes it more actionable. When your words are simple and to the point, people are more likely to act on what you've said because they understand it. A leader's ability to simplify complex topics shows that they have mastered the subject matter themselves and can guide others to understand and apply it. Finally, precision in speech means using the right words to convey exactly what you mean. Precision isn't just about speaking with fewer words, it's about using the most effective words to make your point. A leader who speaks with precision is careful about the words they choose, ensuring that each word contributes to the overall message. Whether you're giving a directive, offering feedback, or sharing a vision, the right word choice ensures that you are not misinterpreted. Leaders who speak precisely avoid ambiguity, which can lead to confusion and misunderstanding. This level of care and attention to detail shows that you are in control of your message and that you are a leader people can trust to provide clear direction. Confidence is one of the most vital traits of an effective leader, and it manifests most powerfully in the way you communicate. When you speak with confidence, your words carry weight. People listen not only to the content of what you say, but also to how you say it. Your confidence shapes how others perceive you, as well as how seriously they take your ideas and vision. Leaders who speak confidently command respect because they project authority, competence, and assurance. Confidence in your speech reassures others that you are in control, capable of making decisions, and committed to achieving the goal at hand. Confidence in speaking begins with believing in yourself and your abilities. If you don't have confidence in your own voice, it will be hard to inspire confidence in others. To speak with confidence, you must first cultivate an inner belief in your worth, your knowledge, and your experience. This belief doesn't come from perfection, but from understanding your strengths and being aware of the value you bring to the table. When you speak from a place of self-assurance, you communicate not just your words, but your belief in your ability to lead. This belief is contagious. When others sense your confidence, they are more likely to trust and follow you. A confident speaker also knows how to control their tone and pace. The way you say something often matters as much as what you say. When you speak with a steady, measured tone, it conveys calmness and control. Leaders who speak confidently are not rushed or overly fast in their delivery. They understand that silence can be powerful and that taking a moment to pause can reinforce their message. Speaking too quickly may signal anxiety or a lack of conviction, while speaking too slowly can make you seem unsure or weak. By pacing your words confidently, you make it easier for others to absorb what you're saying, which helps to solidify your authority in the moment. The physical aspects of speaking also play a significant role in projecting confidence. Your body language should align with your words. Stand tall, maintain good posture, and make eye contact with your audience. Avoid crossing your arms or slouching, as these nonverbal cues can undermine the confidence you're trying to project. A leader who speaks confidently uses their body language to reinforce their words. Small but powerful gestures can make your message more impactful and signal that you are both present and engaged. The way you carry yourself while speaking demonstrates that you are comfortable with your role and that you own your position as a leader. Confidence also requires an unwavering commitment to your message. Leaders who speak with confidence don't hedge their words or over-apologize for their opinions. They don't second-guess themselves in front of others or apologize excessively for their ideas. When you communicate with confidence, you stand firm in your convictions, even if there is disagreement. It's not about being arrogant or dismissive of others' perspectives, but rather about presenting your ideas with clarity and resolve. A confident leader doesn't wait for others' approval to speak their mind. They are willing to state their position and defend it, knowing that their beliefs are valid and important. Another key aspect of speaking with confidence is being comfortable with uncertainty. Leaders are often faced with situations where they don't have all the answers, and it's in these moments that confidence is truly tested. Speaking confidently doesn't mean having all the solutions. It means being honest about what you know, and just as importantly, what you don't know. A confident leader is comfortable acknowledging their limitations without undermining their authority. Instead of pretending to have every answer, they communicate a willingness to learn, adapt, and find solutions. This balance of humility and assurance fosters trust and admiration from your team, as they recognize you as both capable and authentic. As a leader, the way you assert yourself speaks volumes about your ability to inspire trust and respect. Assertiveness is about standing your ground and expressing your ideas, needs, and boundaries in a direct, respectful manner. It is the balance between being passive and aggressive, where your voice is heard but it does not overpower others. Leaders who exhibit assertiveness are seen as confident, decisive, and fair. Assertiveness commands respect because it reflects self-assurance and an understanding of one's worth without being overbearing or dismissive of others. Assertiveness is rooted in self-respect. When you assert yourself, you make it clear that you value your own opinions, needs, and time, and you expect the same from others. However, being assertive doesn't mean bulldozing over others or disregarding their viewpoint. Instead, it's about communicating your ideas and desires in a way that encourages open dialogue and mutual respect. This type of communication fosters an environment where everyone feels heard and valued, rather than feeling intimidated or minimized. Assertive leadership creates a space for collaboration, where all voices can contribute but decisions are made with confidence and clarity. An assertive leader communicates with conviction and clarity. It's about being direct without being domineering. When you speak assertively, you make your intentions clear and set expectations for what is required from others. For example, rather than saying, "I think it would be nice if we could maybe get this done," an assertive leader says, "This task needs to be completed by Friday. Let's ensure we meet that deadline." By speaking directly and with authority, you eliminate ambiguity and create a sense of urgency, which drives accountability and results. Your words are decisive, which helps others know exactly what is expected of them without fear of misinterpretation. The key to assertiveness is not allowing fear to dictate your communication. Many people shy away from speaking up because they are worried about offending others, or they fear rejection or conflict. However, being too passive can lead to frustration, resentment, or misunderstanding. Leaders who are assertive face challenges head-on by addressing issues promptly and with respect. They understand that uncomfortable conversations are sometimes necessary to resolve conflicts and ensure that the team stays aligned. Avoiding issues or failing to assert yourself when necessary can result in missed opportunities for growth and improvement, while assertiveness drives progress and helps to maintain a positive, solution-focused environment. Assertiveness also involves setting healthy boundaries. As a leader, it's important to know where your limits lie and communicate them effectively to others. This might mean saying no when your plate is full, or respectfully redirecting someone who is asking for your time in an unproductive manner. Leaders who can set boundaries assertively without guilt or defensiveness are seen as strong and principled. By doing so, they also set an example for their team, encouraging them to set their own boundaries in a healthy and respectful manner. When boundaries are respected, it leads to a more harmonious and productive environment, where individuals feel empowered to speak up and protect their own space. One of the challenges that leaders face is the fine line between assertiveness and aggression. Aggression typically comes from a place of insecurity, where someone feels the need to dominate or belittle others to assert their power. It's the opposite of healthy leadership. An aggressive leader may use harsh words, intimidate others, or attempt to control every situation, but this ultimately damages relationships and trust. Assertiveness, however, is about standing firm without trying to overpower others. It's about expressing your thoughts clearly and standing by your convictions, while respecting the opinions and rights of those around you. Assertiveness commands respect because it shows confidence without resorting to manipulation or hostility. Assertive leadership also encourages accountability within the team. When a leader sets clear expectations and communicates assertively, team members are more likely to take ownership of their responsibilities and work toward the common goal. They know where they stand and what is expected of them, reducing confusion and promoting a culture of reliability. As a leader, when you are assertive, You foster an environment where people can thrive because they understand both the goals and their individual role in achieving them. Assertive communication ensures that everyone is on the same page and working together toward shared success, without the distractions of unclear expectations or unresolved conflict. As a leader, your words have the power to shape the mindset and behavior of those around you. One of the most important ways to command respect and maintain influence is by using positive, solution-oriented language. A leader who focuses on solutions instead of dwelling on problems creates an environment where optimism thrives and challenges are viewed as opportunities. Instead of fixating on what isn't working or what can't be done, solution-oriented language inspires others to focus on what can be achieved and how to move forward. This approach not only motivates your team, but also fosters a culture of resilience, adaptability, and continuous improvement. The power of positive language lies in its ability to reframe challenges in a constructive light. When faced with a problem, a leader who immediately turns the conversation toward potential solutions demonstrates foresight and leadership. For example, instead of saying, "This project is going to fail if we don't fix this issue," a solution-oriented leader might say, "This issue presents a challenge, but if we approach it with creativity and collaboration, I'm confident we can overcome it." This subtle shift in language focuses attention on the action that needs to be taken, rather than allowing the team to dwell on the obstacles. When your language is solution-focused, you steer your team away from helplessness and toward empowerment. Moreover, using positive language helps maintain morale in challenging situations. Leadership often involves navigating difficult times, whether it's a tight deadline, a project setback, or external pressures. During such moments, it's easy for negativity to take root. However, a leader who uses positive language ensures that the atmosphere remains productive, even when challenges arise. When you emphasize possibilities rather than limitations, your team becomes more open to problem solving. Positive language shifts the narrative from "this is too hard" to "we've faced difficult challenges before, and we can handle this too." This shift fosters a mindset of growth and resilience within your team, where setbacks are seen as learning opportunities, not insurmountable barriers. Solution-oriented language also encourages proactive behavior. When a leader consistently uses words that focus on solutions, it creates a ripple effect among team members. They start thinking more critically about how they can contribute to solving problems and improving situations. Instead of waiting for someone else to come up with an answer, team members empowered by solution-oriented language are more likely to take initiative. This proactive attitude leads to greater innovation, creativity, and collaboration. People begin to feel that they are part of the solution rather than bystanders to the problem. Leaders who speak with an emphasis on solutions are not only solving immediate challenges, but are also cultivating an empowered team culture. Another benefit of using positive language is that it helps foster trust and confidence. When you communicate in a positive, solution-oriented manner, you demonstrate that you believe in the capabilities of your team. This belief in others is contagious. When your team hears that you trust them to find solutions and that you have confidence in their abilities, they begin to trust themselves and each other. As trust grows, so does the team's cohesiveness and motivation to succeed. People are more likely to respect a leader who focuses on their potential and inspires them to take action, rather than one who constantly points out flaws or limitations. Finally, solution-oriented language establishes a sense of clarity and direction. Leaders who are able to articulate not just problems, but possible solutions, provide a roadmap for the future. Clear communication about the next steps ensures that everyone is aligned and focused on a common goal. When a leader uses words that highlight actionable steps, they create a shared vision for the team. This prevents confusion, reduces frustration, and sets a course for success. Rather than circling the problem or engaging in endless debates about what went wrong, solution-oriented language moves the conversation toward practical actions that can be taken immediately. It gives your team a sense of purpose and direction, knowing that every discussion and decision is focused on progress and positive outcomes. One of the most critical skills a leader can develop is the ability to listen actively and empathetically. Communication is a two-way street, and while speaking effectively is important, equally crucial is how well you listen. Leaders who listen not only gather important insights and feedback, but also foster an environment of trust and respect. When you listen actively, you show others that their thoughts, feelings, and perspectives matter. This simple act builds strong relationships, enhances collaboration, and creates a deeper sense of loyalty within the team. Active listening requires more than just hearing the words someone is saying. It involves fully engaging with them. This means making eye contact, nodding, and responding in ways that show you understand what is being communicated. It also means eliminating distractions, so that your attention is entirely focused on the speaker. Leaders who listen actively demonstrate that they value their team members' opinions and are willing to give them the time and attention they deserve. By engaging in the conversation and asking clarifying questions, you can gain a deeper understanding of the issue at hand, which enables you to make better decisions and provide more thoughtful guidance. Empathy is a key component of active listening. When you listen empathetically, you go beyond the surface of what is being said and seek to understand the emotions and perspectives behind the words. It's about recognizing and acknowledging the feelings of others, whether they are frustrations, concerns, or aspirations. An empathetic leader doesn't just hear problems, they also feel the emotional weight behind them. This emotional connection helps you respond in a way that is thoughtful, considerate, and appropriate. Leaders who exhibit empathy create an environment where people feel safe to express themselves, knowing they will be understood and supported. Empathy in leadership also enhances your ability to navigate conflict. Conflict is inevitable in any team or organization, but how you handle it can make all the difference. Leaders who are empathetic approach conflict resolution with an open mind and a compassionate heart. Rather than reacting impulsively or with authority, they take the time to understand the root causes of the disagreement and listen to all perspectives involved. This approach not only helps to resolve the issue at hand, but also shows the team that their concerns are valid and worthy of attention. When team members see that their leader is genuinely concerned about their well-being and the dynamics of the group, they are more likely to trust the leader's judgment and feel more committed to the team's success. Active listening and empathy also contribute to better decision-making. When you take the time to listen carefully to the thoughts and ideas of others, you gather valuable information that can help guide your decisions. By being open to feedback and showing empathy toward different viewpoints, you open yourself up to a wider range of possibilities. This not only improves the quality of your decisions, but also demonstrates humility. It shows that you are willing to consider input from others, even if it differs from your own perspective. Leaders who make decisions based solely on their own opinions or assumptions risk alienating their team and missing out on important insights. Empathetic listening allows you to take a holistic view of a situation, leading to more informed, inclusive, and effective decision-making. Moreover, active listening and empathy are essential for building trust within your team. Trust is the foundation of any successful relationship, and without it, leadership becomes a one-way street, where orders are given, but no real connection is made. When people feel heard and understood, they are more likely to share their ideas and concerns openly, which strengthens communication and collaboration. Empathetic leaders inspire confidence in their team by showing that they care about their well-being and are committed to their success. This trust becomes reciprocal, as team members who feel supported and valued are more likely to go above and beyond, contributing more effectively to the team's objectives. As a leader, how you communicate can either empower or hinder your team. One of the most important skills in leadership is the ability to communicate with clarity and precision. When you communicate clearly, you ensure that your message is understood by everyone, and there is no room for ambiguity or misinterpretation. Precision in your communication allows for smoother execution of tasks and reduces the likelihood of mistakes or confusion. Leaders who are able to articulate their ideas concisely and without excess are more effective because they make it easier for their team to grasp and act upon what is being communicated. Clarity begins with knowing exactly what you want to say before you say it. Leaders who lack clarity in their own thoughts often struggle to communicate their ideas effectively. The first step to clear communication is to organize your thoughts and focus on the key points you want to convey. Whether in a one-on-one conversation during a team meeting or in a presentation, having a clear sense of purpose behind your message will allow you to express yourself more confidently and logically. It's essential to distill your ideas down to their core components, eliminating unnecessary jargon or distractions so your message can be easily understood and acted upon. Precision in language further strengthens clarity. Being precise doesn't mean being overly detailed or rigid, but rather focusing on what is important and communicating it with exactness. For example, instead of saying, "We need to improve our results," a precise statement would be, "Our goal is to increase our sales by 10% in the next quarter, and here are the specific strategies we will implement." By narrowing the scope and providing specific targets, you ensure that your team has a clear roadmap to follow. Precision helps people understand exactly what is expected of them, leaving little room for doubt or guesswork. It makes your vision actionable and sets a clear course for the team to follow. A key aspect of communicating with clarity is being able to explain complex ideas in a simple way. As a leader, you may often be required to discuss intricate concepts or strategic plans. However, using overly technical language or convoluted explanations can alienate your audience and create confusion. The ability to simplify complex ideas without diluting their essence is a hallmark of effective leadership communication. Leaders who communicate with clarity are able to take sophisticated or abstract concepts and break them down into understandable terms, making them accessible to everyone on the team. This approach not only makes your ideas more digestible, but also enhances your credibility as it demonstrates your mastery of the subject matter. In addition to simplifying complex ideas, clarity also requires a focus on active listening. Communication is a two-way street, and in order to communicate with clarity, you must first ensure that you fully understand the perspectives and feedback of others. When you listen carefully and actively, you are able to respond with greater precision and relevance. Listening attentively to your team helps you gauge their level of understanding and allows you to adjust your message accordingly. For example, if you sense confusion or hesitation, you can reframe or elaborate on certain points, ensuring that your message resonates with the audience and is fully understood. Finally, clarity in communication also involves being transparent and honest. Leaders who communicate with transparency build trust and credibility. When you are clear about your intentions, your decisions, and your reasoning, your team feels informed and included in the process. Transparency allows you to create an open dialogue where questions are welcomed and feedback is encouraged. It also ensures that your team knows exactly where the organization stands, which eliminates unnecessary speculation and rumor. A leader who communicates with clarity and transparency fosters an environment of trust and collaboration where people feel comfortable engaging with you and are more likely to follow your lead with confidence. In conclusion, the way you communicate as a leader sets the tone for everything that happens within your team or organization. When you speak with clarity, precision, and confidence, you don't just convey information, you inspire action, trust, and respect. The words you choose and the way you deliver them can either elevate your team to new heights or leave them uncertain and disengaged. Remember, leadership is not just about giving orders, it's about creating an environment where every team member feels heard, valued, and motivated to contribute to the collective vision. By mastering the art of communication, whether it's being assertive yet respectful, using positive language to drive solutions, listening empathetically, or conveying your message with clarity, you will not only command respect, but also cultivate a culture of collaboration, transparency, and growth. And that is the hallmark of great leadership, not just inspiring others with your words, but also with your actions, your consistency, and your ability to guide and empower your team toward success. So take these principles to heart. Speak with purpose, listen with intention, and lead with the clarity and conviction that will set you apart as a leader who truly commands respect.